first line of Solitaire speakers was launched in 1983. Ever since, Solitaire has been the reference line of T+A loudspeakers. Our current line of Solitaire speakers comprises 3 models. These are the S430, S530 and S540. So the S430 features our new Mach 50 magnetostatic tweeter. It has a 50 by 25 mm diaphragm. Besides the tweeter, it is a 3-way design that comes with 2 mid-range drivers with a size of 150 mm and 2 bass drivers with a size of 220 mm, and it also has a down-firing bass port design.
In the 430, we are using a system which is called symmetric directivity. This arrangement focuses the sound directly to the listener more than the classical speaker. The line array line source arrangement of the 500 models focuses the sound even more towards the listener.
So the S530 is the smaller of the 500 speakers. It comes in a line source, line array arrangement featuring our new Mach 850 magnetostatic tweeter with a size of 850 mm by 25 mm plus 7 oval-shaped mid-range drivers which have a size of 90 by 60 mm. As you can see in the front baffle, they are arranged on a side-by-side configuration. For the bass, we have got 2 side-mounted bass drivers which are opposite of each other in combination with a down-firing bass port. The S540 has got a larger cabinet. It's using 4 pieces of the 220 mm bass drivers, but it's a closed design, it doesn't have a bass port, and it's using the same tweeter mid-range configuration of the S530.
In our systems, designing the crossover was really a challenge, because in the 500 series, we have at least 7 mid-ranges, and then we also have this very large tweeter. Both of these speakers are very sensitive, so this means we have to get the level all equal of the systems and put it in a proper relation with the bass. The benefit we have from these high sensitivity tweeters and mid-ranges is that we can now give them a very low voltage, very low signal, which means the distortions are extremely low now. For the bass crossovers, we use transformer coils with the biggest wires possible, so we have a very low resistivity. And where possible, otherwise we will use air coils. In all the designs, we use multiple capacitors in each way, because therefore we can reduce the tolerances, so therefore we can increase the quality of the systems. Similarly, in these crossovers, we are using, if we have resistors, we are not using one resistor, we are using multiple resistors there, as far as we have a power handling. Because if we have a high power handling of a resistor, then it's better to split it up into multiple resistors. Firstly, again, our tolerance gets low. Secondly, we have a higher surface, so the heat dissipation gets better. For all the drivers, for the woofer, for the mid-range and the tweeter, we are using switches for leveling the power, which means if you have a room which is brighter, then you can lower the treble, you can make the treble higher. But we are not putting the switches in the signal path. We are switching resistors, which are parallel to the signal path, which means the signal is not going through the switch and then into the speaker, but we take the power out of the speaker and lead it down to the ground. With the board design, we make sure that we have the best possible signal handling, even at the highest levels. Additional about the cables we are using inside the box, which is also a very important thing, because if we use cables which are too small, then you don't get a good current dissipation again. So therefore, we are using thick special cables for the bass, and for the mid-range and the high frequency, we are using thinner cables and very specially made cables which have excellent high-frequency performance.
You know, these days in modern architecture, you find more and more glass, concrete, hard surfaces, which is really not a perfect environment for loudspeakers. And with the Solitaire 530 and 540 speakers, as they have a more direct reflecting sound waves, I think they're easier to drive in that kind of environments than normal speakers, where you get more of reflected sound. The way the speakers project the sound into the room, you really have to sit down to enjoy the speaker, and that's sometimes frustrating at shows because people usually tend to walk in and they stand and look around. As soon as they sit down, suddenly you can see their faces really opening up and their eyes going wide because they can feel the full frequency response, the tweeter, the power of the mid-range, and this is all gone when you stand up.
Well, we are very proud of these speakers, especially if you see these long magnetostatic tweeters. This was so much work, so much effort we put into this, especially with the low distortions and with the great sound we got from these speakers. All the goals we wanted to achieve, we achieve now.